Hello, welcome to this tutorial. I'm Maurice Dimba. Today we are going to model an outdoor advertising billboard, V-shaped but a flagged type. Welcome once again and let's get started. We have our grid here already in position, and I can just go ahead and double click on it just to check on its measurements. Let me just double click on it for us to see its measurements. If I double click, the grid dialog box is not coming up because we've not activated the grid switch. We'll click on that. Then when you come back here and double click on it, it will appear now. Here it is, and we have the dimensions are here. These are our dimensions. Now I'll just go straight and close that. I'll click on empty screen to deselect what I've just selected. Now I'm going straight to place our circular hollow section for our column for the billboard. I'll go to steel right here and pick on column. Then I'll snap right at the center here. I'll snap at the center right there. I'll right click and double click on this column, and I want to change it to a circular hollow section. Once I've double clicked, this column properties dialog box will come up, and I'll go straight and attributes, opposite the profile. I'll click on this button, and this will take me straight to profile catalog, where I'll be able to select on the appropriate member. Here we are, and I'm going straight to the circular hollow section here. I'll pick on circular hollow section, and for the column I'm going to use the CHS here. The size I'll pick is 508 by 6.3. I've picked on that. I'll go straight away and apply and give it an OK right here, and come under column properties, and I can click modify, and I'll come to class here. I want just to change the color. I don't want that pink color. I'll give it color 1. Let me just type there and see what color is 1. I need 3 will be okay. Let me just put it 3 right there, and that's okay. Now if you take a look, it has gone deeply. It has gone deep beyond our grid line level. Now I'll come to position here and change this bottom end from negative 450 to 0. I want it to go up to 0 level. I'll go ahead and click modify, double click on that, and come here and change this to 0. I'll come here and click modify. Then I need my column height to be 6 meter high. I'll go ahead and accept that by clicking modify. I'll apply and give it an OK right there. Now I have my column here 6 meter high, and I need another column on top of this, but it won't go that far, not 6 meter, but I'll give it 500 millimeter high. So 500 millimeter high will be added on top here, but the circular hollow section will not have the same diameter as this one. It will be a little bit smaller. Now what I'll do, I'll just click on this, right click and come to spatial copy. Then I'll come to linear. Then under linear, I want to copy this up by 600 by 6 meter high. I'll copy it up right there. Now it's up, but I want to adjust this height to 500 millimeter. Now if I double click on it and come to position here, you can see the full height. It is 12 meter, and what we have just 500 millimeter on top of the 6 meters on top of the 6 meter. Now what we'll do, we just change this to 6500 and come here and apply that. There you are, and we have this in place. Have that in place, but we want to change this diameter we want to use a hollow section with a smaller diameter than the bottom one. Now I'll come back to profile here and click select and give it time to load, and I'll go straight to circular hollow section here, circular hollow section, and I'll pick a diameter of 457 here, 457 times 6.3 millimeter thick. Thick. Then I'll come here and apply that, and give it an acceptance there by clicking OK. Then come here once again and click modify to accept the changes. I'll apply and give it an OK once again. I'll zoom out. Then now we want to first of all place the base plate at the bottom end here. What I'll do, prior to doing that, I want to place another beam that will be carrying our advertising billboard, or advertising board. Now I'll come to steel here under beam, click right there, and I want to snap right at the center of this and go all the way. I want it to stretch 8 meters and snap right there. Right click. Once I've done that, I want to copy it right on top of this member. I'll click on this, right click, and come to copy. And prior to that, we want to do some simple mathematics here. If I double click on this, the beam properties will come up with the dimensions of this member. You can see the diameter of this is 457 dia and 6.3 millimeter thick. Now we want to copy this up on top of this column. In this case, it is our circular hollow section that will be carrying the billboard. Now we want to add the diameter of this on top of this height, 6.5. Now in total it will be 6.957. I'll right click and come to special move, then click linear. Once I've clicked linear, I'll come to the axis here and just type 6957 right there. Then I'll click move. Once I've clicked move, I'll go ahead and click OK right here. Right click and click interrupt just to exit from that command. Here we are, and we have moved this member on top of our short column member here. Now before we make any step further, we want to first of all place our base plate here. I'll come to applications and components here, and I'll pick on, I just type here base plate, right here, base plate, and I'll pick on the circular base plate. I'll double click on that for us to access its window. We can't access the far end here, but still we can work with it. Now I'll come to load, or this I'll come to standard here and click on this drop down arrow and pick on my setting here, and I'll go ahead and click load. I'll load my settings right there, and I'll also share with you the settings that I've used for the base plate. I'll come to parts here, and you can see my dimensions are here, and parameters are these ones here, and the general, there's nothing, I just left it for default, and the bolt settings are here, and anchor rods, I left it for default, and that's it. I'll just go ahead and click load the base plate settings, and remember you can use this and save and give it a name of your choice. Once you've done that, just click save as, and it will, the settings will be saved in your system. So whenever you want to apply the same connection, you just go ahead and pick and put it into action. Now I'll go ahead and click load, come here, modify, I'll accept that, I'll give it an OK here by clicking OK button. Then I'll come at the bottom end here and click on this member, then snap right at the bottom end right there. We'll give it time to load. There we are, we have our base plate in place. And if I come to navigate and I want to rotate this with mouse and I turn this around, you can be able to see there's a small cut down at the bottom end here. This is our column in place. I mean our column with the base plate, circular hollow section. I'll right click and redraw this, just remove these signs of active signs, so active signs of macro. Now I want to create a flange connection here. What I'll do, I'll just go straight to applications and component once again and pick on a round joining plate. Just type round. I'll scroll down and pick on this. Yep, I'll just double click on it. Once I've done that, I'll come once again to this standard connection and pick my setting right there, and I click load. Remember, you can do a similar thing by the moment you've done a connection. Please just save it, because if that particular connection you use it frequently, you can save it, give it a name and save it, and you will apply it in whichever connection that will be right for it. Now I'll go ahead and click load here. I'll click modify. I'll come to apply and give it an acceptance by clicking an OK button. Now I want to connect these two members. I'll pick on this and pick on this and give it time to load. There we are, we have our connection right there in place, and I can just go ahead and double click on it so that we share the connection settings. If you intend to use a similar connection, you can pick it from here. This is the connection setting, and these are my parameters. For stiffeners and general settings, I left it for default, and the bold settings, this is my setting, and design, I just left it for default. Analysis also I left it for default. Now I'll come back to picture and I'll go straight and apply that and give it an acceptance by clicking an OK button. Now we want to create connection here, but to create a connection here, we just come back here once again, and around we want to use this round tube connection. We'll click on this, and I want to connect this to this. Perfect. I've welded that. Now I'll right click and redraw that. So you can see this has been connected. This has been welded to this main beam that will be carrying our canvas. Now I'm going straight to place my cap plates here. I'll just type cap and applications and component. I'll pick on cap plate detail here and come here and pick on this, then snap at any point, and it'll give it time to load its settings. There we are. Now I want to change this setting. I'll double click on it. Once I've double clicked on it, I'll just wait for its dialog box to load. Thereafter I'll be able to use I'll be able to customize it. Now I'll come under this, under picture, and I want to change to that, and this end I want it to mesh, so I'll change that to 0 and click modify. It has meshed, and the plate itself, I'll leave it at 10mm thick, and welds, I just leave it at default right there. I'll go ahead and click apply and give it an OK right there. I'll do a similar thing at the end of this. I'll come to navigate and I'll turn this round. I want to turn this round by clicking that spot and pressing my left button on the mouse. I'll right click, and now I'll come back again and activate the same command. I'll click on that, then snap right there. I'll right click once again and redraw that. Now we want to start placing the main, we want to start placing our, the framework that will be carrying our canvas for the advertising. Now what I'll do here, I'll come to edit here and come to points. Once I've come to points here, I'll pick on any position and I'll snap right here. Once I've done that, I'll pick on it once again and right click and come to special copy. I'll go to linear here. Now on the z-axis we'll change that to 0, and I'm going to work with the x-axis. Now I'll come to x-axis here and I want to offset this point by a meter. Now I'll just type a meter here and click copy. There we are, and I've picked on it. Now I want to offset this point up here, up on top of this member. Now to do that, first of all, we have to be very accurate. We have to be very accurate with the distance between 0 level up to the top of this member. Now, since top here was 957, now we'll add 47. Now we'll just click on this, just click on this, right click and click, copy this up by 957, change that to 0. We'll add that. Now we want to copy this point up by, we'll come to z-axis here and feed 7414, and we'll just go straight and click OK, and we'll check whether it is on the right spot. No, it is on the wrong spot. We'll come back here and right click and come to special copy. It will feed the same thing, 6957 right there, and we'll click copy, click OK, and check whether it is on the right spot. Click on empty screen to deselect that, come to view, navigate, and rotate this with mouse right on the top. Let's switch back to plan view so that we have an accurate view of this. Now we'll click on this, we'll right click and come to special copy. We'll come to that. Now we want to populate this along this beam going all the way in this direction. Now we will use the x-axis, but we'll change the z-axis to 0. We'll come to x-axis here, and we want to populate that at a distance of 1500. We'll come here and feed 4 here and click copy. Perfect, and click OK. Right click and interrupt that. We'll switch back to isometric view, and this is what we're having now. Now I'll come to column here, pick on this, then I want to snap right on top of this, right there. Perfect. I'll double click on I'll click on this member, right click and come to special move and come to linear move. Then I'll just take it up by 500. Take it up by 500 millimeter high. Just take it up. Not really, it should be higher than that. Let me just undo that, and take it up by 957 right there, and click move. Perfect, and click OK, right click and click OK right there. Then we'll come to view, come to navigate, turn this round. Now we want to change this member to an I-beam. We'll double click on it. We'll close this for now because we don't have anything to do with it. We'll come back to it when we need it. I'll come to column properties, and I want to change this profile. I don't want a circular hollow section. I need an I-beam. I'll come to select under attributes and click on select right here. This will take us straight to under profile catalog. We'll be able to change or pick on our preferred profile member or a profile, still profile. Now I'll come to I profile right here and click on that plus sign and come to universal beam here, and I want to use this one. I want to pick on 2 or 3 right here and pick on the first. I'll come here and apply, and I give it an acceptance by clicking on OK right there. I'll come here and apply the same settings here, but I want to reorient. I want to rotate it to sit on the right position. I'll come to position right here and pick and click this drop down arrow under rotation and give it below and click OK. Give it top. Still not the best. That's the best position. I'll click apply and accept. Now I want to populate this along that beam. I'll click on that, then I'll click populate that at a distance of 1.5. I'll go ahead and accept that. There we are, we have them here. Now what we have now at the main support, one of the main supports for our steel frame that will be holding our advertising canvas. Now we want to place a member here running all the way to that end. What we'll do, we'll come to steel once again and pick on this member, then come all the way right there. And prior to doing that, we want to come back to edit and pick on points here. I'll pick on line point, and I want to snap right on that spot and go all the way to this spot right here. I'll snap right there, right click and come to interrupt and apply and accept that. Once I've done that, I want this to stretch all the way to that end by 2 meters. Now I'll pick on that spot, right click and come to spatial copy and pick linear. I want to populate this along the y-axis. I'll come to y-axis here and I'll give it 1.8, 1800 or just a meter. That's okay, and I'll go ahead and just need a copy right there and click copy right there, right click and exit. There we are, and I want to copy this and hold it from this end. I'll hold it from this end and bring it right at the top here. I'll snap right there, right click and edit and click interrupt. I'll come here again, and this end I'll use a different dimension. Remember it is V-shaped. I'll come right here and snap at that corner, or I mean at the center, and snap at the center also. I'll snap right there, right click, and I'm trying to locate a midpoint here that will help me to offset the dimensions that I want to use. That will create a V for our steel frame that will be holding our canvas. I'll pick on that spot and right click and come to spatial copy. I'll pick on copy and pick on linear, and the same on the y-axis. I want to shift this, so copy this. I'll feed here 1600 on that end. going that end, and I want to copy this point and hold it from this end, hold it all the way from that end and join it here. Right there, right click and interrupt. Now if I switch back to plan view, we can check how this V looks. It's not a very strong V, or it's a very sharp V, but we can adjust these points. Remember, from here to here was 1.2. We can bring this to, let me just change this to 0. I'll come to Y here and move this to 6. Move it by 600. We'll prefix that dimension with the negative sign, 600, so that it looks like a V. Right click and I'll delete this, I'll delete that, and I'll pick on this point, right click and come to copy, and I want to hold it from that spot and copy it right here. Perfect. Now if I close this by clicking OK and switch back to my isometric view right here, switch back to isometric view, and I want to create a member. I want to create a beam all the way from this end to that end. I'll come to steel and pick on steel beam, pick on that spot, and I'll snap from that spot and go all the way to that end. Perfect. I'll change this member. It has picked my circular hole section as my default. I'll change this member by going straight to profile catalog. Now under profile catalog, I'll go straight to eye profiles and pick on universal beam. Pick on universal beam, and I'll go straight to 178 by 102, and by 19 I'll pick apply and accept, and go here and do the same thing here, apply and accept that. And prior to clicking on OK, I want to bring it right at the top here, sit right at the top of this member. Then I'll come to position here, I come here and click on front, apply and accept. There we are, and let's check how it's sitting, how it is connecting up with that member. Remember, if you take a look, this member is way too high. What we'll do, we'll just come here and click on that member, delete it, and delete all of this. Press Ctrl and select all this. That height is high. Just double click on this, come to position, and you want to change this to 100. We can give it 200, will be okay. 200 will be okay. Perfect. Apply and accept. We'll delete this, we'll delete that, we'll delete this, we'll delete that. Then we'll populate it once again. Click on this, right click and click copy special, click on that. Then we want to copy this along the x-axis, but we'll change that to 0. We'll come to x-axis and feed 1.5, and we need 3 of these, we need 4 of these. Go ahead and click copy. Perfect. And zoom out and check how it is positioning itself. There we are, and that is what actually we want. Now I want to transfer these points right on top of this member. I'll come back to edit right here, come on edit once again, and I want to snap right on top here and go all the way to this end and snap right there. Once I've done that, I'll pick these 2 points, I'll pick these 3 points, the 2 points, come here and click move, and I want to move them from this point to this point right here. Snap right there, right click and interrupt to exit that command. I'll do the same thing here by locating a main point here by coming to edit and come to point, pick on that online point. We want to create a midpoint between that spot and this spot. I'll click apply and accept, and we want to transfer these 2 points here. Right click and come to move, click move and snap right here and transfer the points here. Perfect. Now we'll go back and create a beam here. You come to steel and pick on steel beam, right there and snap right on top of this member. Go all the way to this end and snap right there. Perfect. We'll do a similar thing here. You come to beam and snap right here, and snap right there. Perfect. Now what we have here, we'll click on that, right click and come to spatial copy and come to linear, click on linear, and we'll prefix this with a negative sign and copy the rest to that end, and we'll delete that one because it is a duplicate. And we'll come all the way to steel beam here, pick on that and snap right here. We'll come all the way to this end and snap right here. We'll snap right there, but we'll shift it down, double click on it and come to position and pick behind right there and click apply and accept. Right click and come to spatial copy. We'll pick on mirror, then we want to mirror that member. We'll use this bottom end as our mirror line, and we'll copy that at that end. There we are, and we've mirrored that. We've mirrored that, and now we want to trim this. Double click on it once again, click on this, and we'll change this to right, put it on the right direction, click and accept that. Do the same thing at this end, double click on it, and we'll come here and under position and click left, apply and accept. Now we want to trim this member. We'll come to edit. Under edit, we'll come to cut by part. Select the part to be cut. We want to cut this part, and the cutting part is that member. We want to trim it like that. Right click and redraw. We want to cut this member, and here we'll use polygon. We'll click on that, and we want to snap right on that spot and snap on this spot. We've not snapped on the right position. Click on that and come and snap right here. Go all the way to this end and snap right here, snap right here, and come all the way and close the polygon by clicking on your initial spot. There we are, and we've trimmed that. We've trimmed that. Right click and redraw. That has been trimmed. We want to do a similar thing here by coming to polygon, pick on this member and snap right here. We'll snap right here. Make sure you're snapping on the right position. Just mouse over this point and it will be located for you. If it is not locating properly, just continue, pick a different position, just cut down on time. Snap right there and look, snap on our initial spot, and we've trimmed that. Now we are coming here and we want to trim this also by clicking on the member to be trimmed, then mouse over this point, then come all the way to this end and do the similar thing. Do a similar thing, just zoom out and target this point, and we'll cut off that. Remember, we are trimming this to pick, to accept that V-shaped. Now at this, we'll just leave it the way it is, and we'll come here and do a similar thing, but in this case we'll redraw. We'll come here and trim this, or we'll use a line, cut by line. Now select the object to be cut. This is the object to be cut. Then first point, we'll snap right here and snap right here and pick the part to be cut. This is the part to be cut, and do a similar thing. I'm using a different method now to trim off. I'll pick this member to be cut, and I'll define my line running all the way to that end, and click the side to be trimmed off. I'll do the same thing here once again by picking on this, then defining my cutting line. This is my cutting line, and I'll pick on the side to be cut off. And here I'll use part. I use a member to cut a member. I'll pick on this member as a member to be cut, and this will be the cutting member. There we are, and now I'll delete these two. I'll delete the two. Right click and come to delete. I'll delete that. Right click and redraw. Now if I switch back to my plan view, this is what we have. We have a V here, a V shaped. Now we can still transfer these points here. Yes, now we'll switch back to isometric view, and first of all we want to connect this member to our main hollow section, circular hollow section. We'll come to applications and component here, and we want this macro here. We want to use a round tube to connect this and this to be connected. That's the wrong procedure. Want to connect that to that, and connect this to that, and connect that to this. We'll go all the way and continue with our connection, that to that. Perfect. Right click and redraw. Now we'll go straight to end plates. We'll come to end plates here. Just type end plate. The end plate we're going to use is numerically known as 29. We'll pick on this 29. First of all, double click on it to pick on the appropriate to access its window, and I'll double click on it once again. Once I've double clicked on it, I'll come all the way here and load my settings here. First of all, I'll pick on the end plate, load it first, and click modify, apply, and accept. And I want to connect these two members. I've connected the two members, and I want to connect this one also. The two members, I want to connect this also. Connect that to that, and this one to this, and this one also to that, right click and I'll redraw this. Perfect. Here we are. And now thanks a lot for watching this video, and let's meet on the next presentation, and bye bye.